In July, we were told that come August we will deal with depression. Thank God for all that happened in July, where when we were able to deal extensively with peer pressure. And thank God for all the responses and the way that lives have been touched as a result of all that happened in that month. In this August, we are going to have a more glorious time as we deal with depression. Welcome to Teen Talk with Ola, your weekly tonic that equips our teenagers with skills for exploit. Depression, by way of definition, is a mood disorder. It's a psychological problem. It's a mood disorder. By way of clarification, it's different from mood swing. Mood swing is one of the traits or characteristics of adolescence. In teenage, you see your teenager today they are happy, tomorrow they just want to be by themselves. Teenagers generally they have that general trait. It's a common thing, and that's one of the reasons why they are termed unstable, because you can't and unpredictable, because you are not sure what you will do that will make them to be happy or what you will do that will make them not to be unhappy. But if it's mood swing, you can be sure that if they enter into that mood, after some time they will come out of it. It's a case of fluctuation between from in adolescence, in their moods, in the way they view things. At times they will just want to be alone, just be by themselves for no reason, or for reasons best known to them. Then after some time they will just come out of their shell. So when they will go into their shell is when they want to be alone. After some time they will come out of their shell and they will be their gay self again. They want to play, they want to relate with you and all that. That is mood swing. That's a common one. Mood disorder, on the other hand, is a situation whereby the victim of mood disorder is perpetually down. It's a situation whereby the person only sees the dark side of life, only the what is not working. So the person is always having feeling of behavior of despondency. Mood disorder manifests in the way victim thinks, in the way victim behaves, in the way the victim talks. The way the person will think, the person will be thinking as if there is no hope. The person may be even be exhibiting some traits of irritability, as if everything is just irritating the person because the person is depressed. So mood disorder manifests in three ways: the way the person thinks, the way the person talks, and the way the person behaves. The way the person feels, the way the person thinks, and the way the person behaves. When you see this, you will know that this person is having, I don't want to use the word suffer, is having challenge with mood disorder. Mood disorder is that's depression. Depression is mood disorder. So I may use them interchangeably, they mean the same thing. Now it's a common trait, but as common as it is not funny. It's just like you say headache is a common ailment. Now we have seen cases whereby people have died of headache if it's not properly treated, or if it's not treated or it's not properly treated. So you don't say that because something is common you now overlook it, or you ignore it. If you notice it, it's better you deal with it so that it doesn't degenerate into something else that you will not like. So that is it about about depression, about the way it is. It in extreme case it can lead to suicide when the person is just always feeling worthless, no hope, bleak, empty. So it's, as I said before, it may look common but it needs to be addressed. What are the manifestations, or how does depression, how does it manifest? It manifests in various ways, some of which are as follows. Number one, feeling of sadness, feeling of tearfulness. You just see the person for no reason, the person will just be shedding tears. Not tears of joy o, not tears because something good suddenly happen that beats his or her imagination and she just can't help but to tear. But in this case it's tear of sadness, tear of loneliness, tear of emptiness. You just, why are you tearing now? What's the problem? What, you may ask the question from here to eternity. The person may not even be able to pinpoint what the problem actually is. It's just a feeling. So a feeling of sadness, the person is just feeling sad. It may even happen in a day that the person is supposed to be happy, maybe on the person's birthday, and the person is just feeling low, just feeling sad. So it's one of the days. So when you see somebody doing like that, please don't push the person aside. It can also exhibit or manifest as a feeling of emptiness, hopelessness. The person is feeling as if there is no future for the person. Please, if you see anybody exhibiting that kind of behavior or feeling, please don't ignore the person. Help the person out. The person is inwardly and indirectly crying out for help. And on the contrary, it can also manifest in excessive anger. You know, I told us that depression manifests through feelings, through behaviors, and through thoughts, the way the person thinks. So behavior now may be excessive anger. The person is just being irritable for nothing. What you think the person will overlook, the person is taking it to an extreme and displaying unnecessary anger. So if this feeling, this depression can manifest in children, can manifest in adults. Oh, that's general something. But as teenagers, this thing can happen mostly. It can manifest rather as feeling of sadness, irritability, feeling negative and worthless, feeling as if there is no hope, no future, no future. Not because the person is lazy, not because the person doesn't want to work, but the person is just feeling that no matter how he or she works, there is no future for the person. That is depression that is trying to set in. And unnecessary anger, extreme sensitivity, that what you want to what you mean as a small joke, or it just means you don't mean deep, the person will give it deeper meaning than you think. And by the time the person tells you that what you said, or what you said or what you acted, the meaning is this and that, you are looking with shock that why where did you get all this from, all this from? You are wondering that that's not true, that's not what I mean, that's not what I mean, but the person is insisting that that's what you mean. Why? Because the person is depressed, because the person is depressed, because the person is having that feeling of loneliness, that feeling of worthlessness. It's also mean, it also mean um it's also a behavior, it also manifests in a self-harm. That is, the person may end up harming himself or herself. That is in extreme case, in an extreme case. So depression, even though it looks common, they say that this one is depressed, just leave him, the person will come out. No, don't leave anyone that you notice suffering depression, don't leave the person just like that. You can be your brother's keeper by helping the person. You can be your sister's keeper too if the person is a girl and you're a girl. You can be your sister's keeper. All you need do is alert professional. Just like you see somebody sick, physical ailment, and you send the person to hospital, or you call a doctor, a nurse, or somebody that you know is a health practitioner to help the person out, or you give the person, maybe you have first aid, you can give the person. The same way, if you see somebody suffering from depression, please don't leave the person alone. Help the person out. You may be the person's life saver before you will go and hear that the person has done something very bad, and you are now having this guilt that and it occurred to you, if only you had helped, if only you had helped. Please don't wait until there is problem in an extreme case before you help the person out. Even when you notice the trace, if you notice the trace, the manifestation, the symptoms as I have highlighted them, feeling of worthlessness, feeling of emptiness, feeling of constant sadness, teariness, feeling of the person, feeling of being the person who always prefers to be withdrawn, always wants to be alone. Everybody is gathering, and you know, one character, one another trait of character of teenagers is that you people always want to be together. Teenagers want to be together, they want to hang out with themselves. So if you now see a teenager withdrawing and wants to be, and is always withdrawn, please don't leave that teenager alone. Don't leave that teenager alone. Find out why is that person withdrawing from others, before you go and hear bad news that you won't like later. You can help the person, because depression can actually, it can be prevented and it can be treated. It can, the danger, the extreme consequence can be averted. They say a stitch in time saves nine. So if you notice any manifestation, please help. Please help. Be one another's helper, keeper, and help out. What are the causes of depression, you may ask? That depression, what even cause it? Is it this, is it that? A lot of things can cause depression. Among teenagers, one major cause of depression is the way the child is brought up, the environment that the child was raised from. Is there an hostile environment? Is it a fair friendly environment? A child that is raised in a friendly environment will have a balanced psyche, will be balanced, will be able to navigate life. The person will face challenges, which is normal, but the person will overcome the challenges. Unlike somebody who is raised in a tense environment, somebody who is raised by parents that are always quarreling, always fighting, always arguing, that sort of person will be unbalanced. There will be imbalance in the person's psyche, and there is tendency for such a teenager to be depressed, especially if such a teenager sees other children, other teenagers making waves in life. There is tendency for that person to feel that he or she cannot make it. In a not so funny manner, the person may blame himself or herself for something that has nothing to do with him or her. May say maybe it's the reason why the parents are always quarreling or whatever. Maybe it's because of him, maybe because of her. Meanwhile, it may have nothing, little or nothing to do with him or her. So please, parents, help your children by minding the environment. If there is any difference, or if there are differences between parents, please do it behind closed doors and don't expose the children to it. It's not funny. I've experienced it and I know it's not funny. So please help your children by doing airing your grievance somewhere else and preventing your children from experiencing them. The aftermath is not funny. Another way by which depression can be caused due to upbringing is when a parent is always comparing one child to others, especially in education. You know, just like the way fingers are not equal, the same thing, life is not equal. But whether A or B, there is nobody will not get to the topmost top. It's just a matter of time. So if you have two children, one is very brilliant cognitively and the other one is more gifted with psychomotor, gift of hand, gift of talent, please don't downplay either. Don't say that the one that is brilliant or the one that is more gifted cognitively, that is in classroom academic work, has more future, and you are now using him or her to talk down the other one that has gift of talent or gift of other areas in psychomotor, and you are now always talking down on that one every time you are comparing him or her with the other one. In the first place, you are creating enmity between siblings, and if care is not taken, it will result into sibling rivalry. And sibling rivalry is the worst rivalry. Go and ask Abel and the brother Cain. Go and ask Esau and Jacob. Go and ask Joseph and the brothers. It most of the time it leads to the downfall of the favored child, because the unfavored one we hate, quote and unquote. Now we hate it, it may not even be quote and unquote, we hate the one that is favored, may see that one as the reason why you dislike him or her. And we, if he or she can eliminate that one, we do. And at the end of the day, you have yourself to blame. So if you have one child that is very good in classroom academics, thank God for him or her, and the other one is not as good as the first one. All you need do as parent is to find out where that other one is good and enhance it, because there is no one that is totally bad, there is no one that is not good at all. It's just that where each one is good may be different. So all you need do as parent is to look at where is this one good, where is that one good, and help to enhance the two, build each one, build them, encourage the two. At the end of the day, it may be the one you are looking down on that will be the one that will feed you in the future. It has happened several times. It has happened. So if you continue to compare, a lot of times it is unconsciously done. It is not something that you do that you want to do. It is unconsciously done. All of a sudden you just see yourself, you too, wait, get up now, can't you see, why can't you be like. Please don't let anybody be like anybody. Let each person develop the way God has made that one to develop, and all you need do is to continue to boost the child's self-esteem, continue to praise the child to success. You need to be firm. If you notice trace of laziness, you need to be firm. You need to apply discipline where necessary, but don't let discipline become punitive. Let discipline be for the purpose that is correctional, not for punishment, not because you want to, you just, I will beat devil out of you. There is no devil in the head of any child, so don't bring devil inside. You can beat the child if the child is lazy. You can discipline the child if the child doesn't want to wake up on the, or what, doesn't want to do anything, the child wants to be indolent. But let the child know why you are correcting him or her, and let it be love born, let it be love motivated. Make sure you communicate to the child that you are disciplining the child in the best interest of that child, because you want the child to have a glorious future, because you don't want the child to go and bite finger of regret in the future. There is no child that you will continue to tell that I'm doing this in your best interest because I want your future to be great, because I'm seeing a great future ahead of you, that will not comply eventually. But if you continue to make it punitive, you continue to compare and contrast, it will be counterproductive, and you don't want that. So those are the causes on the parent side that are the causes of depression as a result of upbringing. Another thing that can cause depression is redundancy. This is August. Schools are on holidays. The SS3, the secondary school, they are finished, and WASC results are out now. And a lot of time there is no PSP, post secondary school plan. If there is no post secondary school plan, you just find yourself idle, redundant. And there is this idea that says idle hand is devil's workshop. If you are redundant, you don't have any plan, you are just there, before you know it, your mind will start thinking, bringing in negative thoughts. And I told us a while ago that depression manifests from thought, from feeling, from behavior. So from thought, now you start thinking negatively. Maybe the result, because WASC result is out now, maybe your result didn't come out as you anticipated, or you took JAMB and the result didn't come out as you anticipated, and you now felt that okay, that means the next 1 year I will be nothing, I will not do anything, there is nothing for me to do. And because you are thinking like that, you are already feeling redundant, you are already feeling hopeless, you are already feeling empty, and before long you will start feeling sad. And especially if you see your counterparts that their own results are very good, and they already made their jam, and it will now look like, oh, so they are going and I will be alone, and you are just sad like that. Those are the causes. Before you know it, if you don't checkmate that thought, it will lead to depression. The next thing that can also lead to depression is worry, unnecessary worry. Yes, it's good to take control of your life by not being slack, by not being indolent, but you don't have to take it too much to the extent that it will be giving you worry. Because once it gives you worry, you will now look at it, will look like there is no hope, there is nothing for me, there is nothing I can do about it. And when you feel there is nothing about that you can do about it, and there is nothing to be done, because there is nothing you can do, you now feel there is nothing to be done, depression can set in. Depression can set in. The last point that we are going to talk about today on the cause or under the causes of depression is a personality. If you are the kind of person that you hold on to situation too tight, you don't let go, you remember somebody that offended you that day, that month, that year, that thing that was said against you, and you are still holding on to it, and because of that you are thinking and overthinking about it. If you overthink about negative thing that was said to you or that was said about you which you heard, you will be depressed. There is an adage in Yoruba that says kò jẹ́ kétí ẹni ó di, kò jẹ́ kínú ẹni ó dùn. Translation: if you are not deaf to some things, you will always be sad about things. So you have to learn to be deaf to some things. You have to learn to let go of the past. They say if you don't let go, if you stay with the past, you will pass away with it. Let go of the past. If you are thinking and overthinking about the past, before you know it, depression will set in. And once depression sets in, it becomes a serious problem. You will not have problem by the grace of God. Next week, we are going to talk about how to deal with depression. We have looked at the causes. We have looked at various ways by which depression can happen. Next week, we are looking at how do we prevent it. How do we prevent it? Because I told us when we at the beginning of this episode, I say depression is preventable, depression is treatable. So next week, by the grace of God, we look at how to prevent it. When we know how to prevent it, it will be better for us, because they say prevention is better than cure. So make it a date with us next week. Before we call it a day today, however, I want to remind us to remember to like our page on this thing today page. Like this video, like the page, like our YouTube channel, and subscribe to us, and like us on Instagram and on Twitter. If you have any question, I'm always available on thingsworldwithola@gmail.com or iseegreatfuture@gmail.com. They are all one word each. And if you want to send me a WhatsApp message, +234 +234 371 58397. I take it again, +234 371 58397. Till I come your way again, remember, depression is something you can deal with. You don't have to allow your life to be ruined by it, because you are going to the top. Therefore, see you at the top. God bless you. Bye.